Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Modi receives a grand welcome in Amman as India and Jordan celebrate 75 years of diplomatic ties. Kremlin says Kiev's non-NATO status is cornerstone in talks as US and Ukrainian negotiators begin second round of peace talks in Berlin. And Britain condemns what it calls politically motivated prosecution of Hong Kong media mogul Jimmy Lai. Lai's son urges the UK to do more to help free his father. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Jordan's Amman on a two-day visit. Jordan's Prime Minister Jafar Hassan received Prime Minister Modi at the airport, along with Jordan's Prime Minister, Industrial Minister, Mayor of Amman, Governor of Amman, Director of Metropolitan Security were present to greet the Indian Prime Minister. This is Prime Minister's first full-fledged bilateral visit to Jordan after 37 years. The visit is even more significant as India and Jordan are celebrating 75 years of diplomatic ties. Prime Minister Modi also received a guard of honor upon his arrival. During the visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold talks with King Abdullah II to review the full spectrum of bilateral ties and exchange views on key regional and global developments. Thereafter, Prime Minister Modi arrived to a rousing welcome at his hotel in Jordan's capital, Amman. He was accorded a warm welcome upon his arrival at the hotel. The Indian diaspora welcomed Prime Minister Modi in Jordan, which is home to a vibrant Indian community. So India's vibrant cultural diversity was on display in Amman. Prime Minister Modi witnessed special cultural performances. Members of the Indian community took the lead in showcasing classical dances of India. Kathak and Bharatanatyam being showcased in front of the Indian Prime Minister. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya joins us live from Amman on the story. Tapas, Prime Minister Modi's visit to Jordan will reportedly allow both sides to review the entire gamut of cooperation between the two countries. Tell us the significance and overall objective of such a potentially comprehensive review in the context of the shifting geopolitical dynamics in West Asia.
Right, Tanvi, let me start with the fact that it's a 75 years of diplomatic relationship that both countries are celebrating. And when we spoke to people out here, they believe that India is like a big brother, and not just 75 years, they want the friendship to be sustained for lifelong. And for that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has come here at this particular juncture of West Asia, where it's turbulent times, but with Jordan at such a crucial juncture in West Asia, that any sort of a West Asia a peace process or any sort of a West Asia deal will have a Jordan impact on that. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit is critical in that aspect. Also for Jordanians, for Jordan, it's very important that we are expecting almost 5 MOUs, so 4 MOUs and 1 letter of intent we are expecting from Prime Minister's visit at this particular time, and there will be other major announcement also in that. In one of the MOUs, we believe they will be discussing about new and renewable energy cooperation, along with the water management aspect of with both countries. Just to put it in perspective, a lot of people will think that West Asia in every country has oil and abundance of oil. Well, that's not the case with Jordan. They don't have oil and they don't have a gas also. So they rely on the critical resources from neighboring countries, for instance, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and other places. So if that's the case, they want to build their economy, they require energy, and the only energy that they think of is renewable energy. India, India has been a major player in wind, solar, as well as biofuel energy sector, and Jordan would like to learn and probably work with India in that aspect also, to make sure that they have abundance of energy at their disposal. It's a growing economy. It's an economy which is in transition, and they require a lot of energy requirement, and that's something that they've been talking about. The other aspects is definitely water. It's a water scarce country, and it is imperative that water management takes precedence, and that's something that they are willing to take note from India. Both countries is expected to work closely in that direction as well. The other aspect that we believe that will have a major impact is India-Jordan Center of Excellence, where India is putting a lot of effort in Jordan. There's many universities there, where India is expected to put in more resources to train more of their more Jordanian postgraduate students in different aspects of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and other subjects. So that's something that also been worked out. We also been told that a lot more things will be discussed in threadbare, including the aspect of cultural and people-to-people movement and other aspects. So overall, it's a 360-degree. Both countries are working on aspects, 360-degree diplomatic postures. So it's imperative that in that 75 years of relationship, diplomatic relationship, they take that and they take that forward in a way that is beneficial to both countries. Tanvi.
Okay, Tapas, could you run us through about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's engagements in the day now? What all is expected from here on?
So we expect in a short while from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to leave for King Abdullah's palace. It's a palace that he has been invited there. So the bilaterals will be happening there. There will be a tete-a-tete with King Abdullah to himself with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So they will be discussing many issues, including, I believe, the current scenario in West Asia. And at the same time, as I mentioned, there will be a lot of more bilateral talks that will happen. We still don't know whether the MOUs will be signed in the palace or it will be done somewhere else, but we were told that it will happen. And so we will get more information as the day progresses. And tomorrow there will be a business forum meeting in the hotel that's there for both Jordanian businessmen as well as from Indian business side. So we believe that that's something that will be beneficial for both countries, especially when it comes to trade and economy,
and investment
in that aspect.
Yes.
As I mentioned, India currently has a $2.8 billion trade worth with Jordan. It's almost in that particular region in West Asia. They're the 4th largest trading partner. Both countries want to take that a notch higher. They want to make it $5 billion dollar trade, between both the countries. And as I mentioned, both countries can actually achieve that if they open up their economy, especially Jordan, if they can open up the economy, especially for Indian businessmen, it will be beneficial for Jordan as well as the nearby areas at the same time.
Okay,
Tanvi.
thank you very much, Tapas, for all those details. Tapas Bhattacharya reporting from Amman. So India-Jordan ties enter a future-ready phase as Prime Minister Modi's visit spotlights technology, education and startup diplomacy, empowering youth and building a modern partnership beyond traditional diplomacy. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya earlier filed this report.
The future of India-Jordan relations is being powered by young minds, innovative ideas and technology-driven opportunities. As Jordan nurtures one of the most educated youth population in the Arab world, India brings unmatched expertise in digital transformation, startup ecosystem and skill development. Jordan's tech talent is recognized across the region and Indian IT firms see strong potential in collaborating on cybersecurity, fintech, software development and artificial intelligence. Joint hackathons, innovation challenges and incubator partnerships are already emerging as a new platform for cooperation. Education is another rapidly expanding area. Scholarships, exchange programs and academic collaborations between universities are enabling students from both the countries to access global standard education. Jordanian students in India pursue engineering, medicine, management and IT, while Indian institutes are building research ties with Jordanian academics. Digital public infrastructure, one of the biggest strengths, offers vast scope for cooperation. Jordan is studying India's experience in digital payments, digital identity, e-governance and telemedicine, with discussions underway for joint pilot productions, joint pilot cooperations. Skill development is also a promising frontier. India's vocational training models, coding programs, tech skill initiative align perfectly with Jordan's focus on youth empowerment and job creations. Startup diplomacy is bringing entrepreneurs together across both countries. From clean tech to agri-tech and ed-tech, joint ventures and technology transfers are becoming more common. With Prime Minister Modi's visit, the Tech Education Partnership stands as one of the most transformative pathways for future growth, building a modern, innovation-led bridge between India and Jordan. With camera person Ashish, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Jordan.
On to Europe now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pushed on with high-stakes talks in Berlin on Monday with US President Donald Trump's envoys aimed at ending the conflict with Russia. Zelensky again met US envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner after 5 hours of talks on Sunday, with other European leaders also holding meetings in the German capital throughout the day. Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff said on X that a lot of progress had been made during an initial hours-long meeting on Sunday that also involved the US president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Other European leaders will also be holding meetings in the German capital throughout the day as part of an EU-Ukraine summit. Earlier, Ukraine said that it was willing to drop its ambition to join NATO in exchange for Western security guarantees. But it was not immediately clear how far the talks had progressed. Volodymyr Zelensky also met Finnish President Alexander Stubb in Berlin on Monday, ahead of the second day of peace talks with US envoy Steve Witkoff and Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Stubb, who has been closely involved in talks, struck a cautiously optimistic tone on Sunday. Now, the Kremlin has said that Ukraine not joining the US-led NATO military alliance was a fundamental question in talks on a possible peace settlement and that it was the subject of special discussion. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that Russia expects an update from the US after the talks with European countries and Ukraine in Berlin. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly demanded Ukraine officially renounce its NATO ambitions and withdraw troops from the about 10% of Donbas region, which Kiev still controls. Moscow has also said Ukraine must be a neutral country and no NATO troops can be stationed in Ukraine. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas said on Monday that taking over the Donbas region will not be Putin's end game. Kallas also acknowledged that reaching agreement on reparations loan for Ukraine based on frozen Russian assets in Europe remained difficult.
We have to understand that Donbas is not Putin's endgame. If it gets Donbas, then the fortress is down, and then they definitely move on with taking the whole of Ukraine. And you know, if Ukraine goes, then other regions are also in danger. We know this from the history, and we should learn from history.
Lithuanian Foreign Minister urged the EU to broaden sanctions against Belarus in response to the ongoing hybrid threats, including the recent disruptions to air traffic.
This FAC meeting is really important for Lithuania, as we expect that colleagues ministers will agree and the Council will pass the additional criteria for the Belarusian sanctions regime. We're adding 3 points additionally to the current sanctions regime related to the hybrid activities against the European Union.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. India's annual WPI inflation down by 0.32% in November, driven by lower food and fuel prices. And football star Lionel Messi wraps up his 3-day India tour at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy. Always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. On to Asia now. Hong Kong's High Court on Monday found media tycoon Jimmy Lai guilty on 2 charges. Lai pleaded not guilty to 2 charges of conspiracy to collude with foreign forces in the city's most high-profile trial under a China-imposed national security law and a charge of conspiracy to publish seditious material, and faces a maximum penalty of life in prison when sentenced. Lai has already spent 5 years in jail, facing a slew of litigations under the sweeping security legislation that Beijing enacted in response to the 2019 protests. Hong Kong's police's National Security Department reiterated that the trial of pro-democracy media tycoon Jimmy Lai is quite transparent.
We reiterated that what we do is quite transparent. You can see that the trial for that is not something about the media. It's totally about a collusion activities with other countries, external power to endanger the national security. So something about the media, the freedom of the press, nothing about that. He indeed created the news. He used it to accomplish his own political agenda. That's our concern.
Now, Britain has condemned what it called politically motivated prosecution of Hong Kong media mogul Jimmy Lai following his conviction under national security laws on Monday. The UK Foreign Office said that the guilty verdict was unjust, and London renewed its call for Lai's immediate release. Further, Jimmy Lai's son, Sebastian Lai, at a press conference in London, urged the British government to take stronger action, saying his father's release should be made a condition for closer ties with China. Sebastian Lai also said that events over the past 5 years reflect a complete breakdown of Hong Kong's legal system.
We've seen today and actually over the past five years is a complete breakdown of the Hong Kong legal system. And I think with that, a trust in the Hong Kong legal system and with that, a trust in Hong Kong as a financial center. Again, I can't speak on whether he would appeal or not, but I think it would be appealing in a system that is essentially broken and with a full deck of cards stacked against them.
More from Asia. Cambodia on Monday accused Thailand of striking deep inside its territory, alleging Thai F-16 fighter jets bombed areas more than 70 kilometers from the border, close to the Angkor Temple complex. Cambodia's information minister said that the attacks forced civilians, including children, to flee. Fierce fighting between the two neighbors entered a second week despite international calls for a ceasefire. Meanwhile, Thailand said that it had halted fuel shipments through a key border crossing with Laos after intelligence suggested supplies were being diverted to Cambodian forces. Bangkok has also warned that it may restrict Thai vessels from entering high-risk Cambodian waters as the conflict reaches an intensity described as unprecedented. Clashes are ongoing at multiple points along the 817-kilometer frontier, displacing more than 500,000 people and killing at least 38 on both sides. Amid the conflict at the border with Cambodia, Thailand is planning to hold parliamentary elections on February the 8th next year. This earlier than expected poll comes after Prime Minister Anuthin Charnvirakul dissolved parliament last week. The voters of Thailand will vote to elect 500 lawmakers with 400 constituency seats. Each party can submit up to 3 prime ministerial candidates. The Election Commission said that the official poll results will be announced by April 9th, after which the new parliament must convene within 15 days to elect speakers and then vote for their prime minister. The process to elect the new leadership of Nepal's Communist Party of Nepal Unified Marxist-Leninist or CPN-UML is underway at the party's 11th National Congress in Kathmandu. The candidature filing is taking place on Monday at Brikuti Mandap, where the Congress is being held. The party made public its voter list on Sunday evening, and candidates can file nominations until Monday afternoon, with withdrawals allowed until 5 p.m. Voting is scheduled for December 16th at the same venue using electronic voter machines. And in some sad news coming from Hollywood, American actor, director and political activist Rob Reiner and his wife were found dead at their Los Angeles home on Sunday. Police detectives are investigating the circumstances, treating the case as an apparent homicide. The 78-year-old actor rose to fame as a co-star in the hit 1970s CBS television comedy All in the Family, and went on to direct several acclaimed films, including This Is Spinal Tap, When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me, and The American President. Fans and colleagues expressed shock and grief following news of Reiner's death. So the death of Reiner and his spouse were confirmed through statements released by Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and California Governor Gavin Newsom. Police have declined to publicly identify the 2 individuals found deceased. Los Angeles Police Department said that patrol officers responding to the residence discovered 2 bodies inside the home. On to India now. The world's largest political party, the Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, got a new national working president in Nitin Nabin. He finally took charge at the party headquarters in New Delhi in the presence of India's Home Minister Amit Shah, Union Ministers JP Nadda, Dharmendra Pradhan and Piyush Goyal, among others today. Upon arrival at the BJP headquarters, Nabin got a rousing welcome with the enthusiastic party workers lining up the entrance to catch a glimpse of the new National Working President. The wholesale price inflation stayed in the negative for the second consecutive month in November at minus 0.32%. Wholesale price index-based inflation was at minus 1.21% in October and 2.16% in November last year. However, on an annual basis, the negative rate of inflation during November was primarily due to decrease in prices of food articles, mineral oils, crude, petroleum and natural gas, manufacture of basic metals and electricity. Food articles continued to witness deflation for the past 8 months, beginning in April. And very quickly, let's give you a glimpse of football star Lionel Messi, who has completed his GOAT India tour. Argentina's football great Lionel Messi arrived at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi on Monday to complete his GOAT tour of India 2025. The 2022 FIFA World Cup winner, Messi, entered the stadium to an ecstatic fan reaction. Messi took a lap of the ground, waved to the fans. The venue was filled with roaring chants of his name, Lionel Messi. The trio of Messi, Luis Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul participated in several events and dribbled the ball with kids at the venue. ICC President Jay Shah, Chief Minister of Delhi Rekha Gupta were present at the event. Jay Shah gifted Messi with an Indian jersey with number 10 on the back, along with an autographed cricket bat and a ticket of ICC T20 World Cup match. Former Indian football team captain Baichung Bhutia and Aditi Chauhan also met Messi at the venue. The greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media handles at DD India Live. And you can also download our DD India mobile app for quick news and updates on the go. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from all of us here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.